Chris, and we get up really early this morning to come north
Really
into
early.
the Panhandle of Florida. And today, what we're doing is we're continuing to follow the footsteps of Hernando de Soto. We actually started in Tampa Bay, and we are now up into the Panhandle
Right.
at kiosk number 27.
27.
Correct.
Yeah, it seems like we started months ago in Tampa and did bit by bit. What's this, part 6?
Yes, we're in part 6, a
And
series of 7.
we're going to attempt to do 3 kiosks today. We're going to start with 27 here, which says the title of this one is Constant Attack. And it talks about how the Army got to this point, and they're in Appalachian territory, and the Indians constantly attacked them. Before they got to the village, which was in this vicinity, it was called Evita Chuco. They tried to stop them before they got to the village by attacking them. There's a big battle. They got to the village, and what the natives did was they just burned the village. So when the conquistadors got there, it was just ashes.
Wow.
So that's what this kiosk talks about.
So why did the conquistadors burn the village?
That's a good question. Probably because they didn't want to leave any resources for the oncoming army.
I mean, like the food and...
The food, and also they would come into villages and set up housekeeping in their huts. Like De Soto would take over the chief's hut, and all the men would live in the people's huts.
Oh my goodness.
And they needed the food, so they probably burnt their corn too.
So how did the Indians, or the tribal people, whatever they called them back then, know to do that? Like, were there like messengers from the south?
Right. They heard what had been going on, what had been coming. That's why they tried to stop them before the village, because they knew they were coming.
Right.
And as we said earlier, remember we talked about how they were in fear of the Appalachian?
Yeah.
Well, now they're fighting the Appalachian. These are the Appalachian here.
Okay.
And they're doing like a scorched earth thing. That's what you call that. And so they got to the village and there was nothing for them. But also when those natives returned to that village, their village is gone.
Okay, so there was no village.
Right.
What did De Soto do?
I think they stopped for just a little while and rested and moved on.
To the next kiosk.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
Well, their main goal is the capital of Appalachia, which is in now Tallahassee, and that's where we're headed right now.
Wow, Tallahassee.
Yep.
Sweet. Isn't that where the museum is?
Yes, and we are going to see actual De Soto artifacts.
That's cool.
Yes.
I read that the gators, it's mating season for them right now, and the males, they bellow. I've heard a male bellowing before, a gator. Oh, it is the creepiest, scariest sound. It gives you an idea what dinosaurs sound like. Ooh, we got a bird. Oh, yeah, it looks like oh, it was a cardinal. Cool. Anyway, back to the gators. Maybe we'll hear that today. Who knows? I am a huge fan of the spinach moss. Check out this trail. Beautiful, right? I found Chris. Let's go see what he's got to say about De Soto. Yay, a kiosk. What we got here?
Yes, we're at the Kiosk 28,
Hmm.
and this is at Lafayette Heritage Trail Park in Tallahassee. We're finally in
I know.
Tallahassee. And the title of this one is called Undercover of Corn.
Oh,
And we're
well, I'm guessing this has got something to do with corn.
right.
Woohoo! Hey.
Well, we'll get to the corn in a little bit. How about your little trip down by the water there? What happened?
It's really beautiful over there. There's a lot of wildflowers and wild birds and things like that, and a few decks or docks, I should say, for people to go
Hmm.
fishing, and lilies. It was beautiful. But I remember that I read recently on Instagram for when you're by the water to be extremely careful because it's mating season for the alligators, and they get very timid and territorial. Like, you don't want to be near the water during mating season. So I was a little nervous to come back to you so you could tell me about the corn.
Okay. So they get a little skittish and jumpy.
Kind of violent.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you like your
Right,
life?
right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll stay away from
Stay away
them.
from from the waterfront gators.
Well,
Anyways,
well, back to the corn. What
yeah.
happened was they came to this village which was called Calhoochee, and unlike the previous village, they didn't do the torched earth thing.
Mhm.
They just bugged out. They left, and De Soto's men came in, and there were these vast cornfields. Although they were sniping from them from the woods, the
Mhm.
natives from the village, they didn't have much trouble other than that. They were had to watch out for arrows, but they went and they harvested the corn. They ate it all up, and it's good because they had to feed all those men,
Mhm.
and then they stayed at the village for a little while and they moved on. Now this village actually is about 8 miles to the west in what they call the Xerez
Oh, okay.
uh, district. It's just it's a little bit near this lake that you were on
Mhm.
here, so it's pretty close.
Oh.
The site archaeologically, they
Mhm.
think it's over there.
Oh, well, we need to check that out.
Right. So we're heading. Our next spot that we're heading to is Tallahassee, and this is where we're going into the museum you've been mentioning this whole
Yes.
trip to see those
Mhm.
artifacts, those DeSoto
Mhm.
artifacts. So that's our next stop.
Nice. Well, let's hit it.
All right.
I want to go there.
I know you do.
I haven't mentioned that, have I?
No, just a little bit. Right.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Well, that was
Yeah, kind of
disappointing.
disappointing. We're at kiosk number 29,
20.
which is at the village of Antioch in Tallahassee, which was the Appalachian capital that DeSoto came into. Um, just a little background on this: the chief of the entire area lived here, and they battled DeSoto almost to the last minute, and then finally just deserted the village. And DeSoto came in, took it over. There was cornfields, houses. It was a bigger village than they'd ever seen before, and they occupied it. But the disappointment here was we've been talking about the DeSoto artifacts throughout this video,
We're so
thinking
excited to see
that
them.
they'd be in the Governor Martin house.
Hmm.
It's online that they're there and everything, that the museum's open. And we got here and we found out the museum's actually closed.
Hmm.
The artifacts have been moved into storage. and they will be putting them in a museum on display in a more secure area, I'm told within a year.
Hmm.
So we didn't get to see those artifacts, but we had a nice
Right.
chat with
We
the
did.
archaeologist
Yes.
Nick here.
He was telling us that it was because the house is really old and they would need climate control,
Yeah,
which they're not going to get
climate
here.
control,
And as you know, Florida can get really humid and it
right?
would destroy any artifact that they keep in there, you know. Right?
And,
Don't they
and
have to be climate controlled?
climate controlled, and also the security systems weren't very adequate.
Hmm.
And this is like high level important artifacts.
Yes.
So I
Absolutely.
understand that.
Hmm.
But again, we were kind of disappointed.
Hmm.
I did get a card from Nick, and I'm going to try to connect with the state archaeologists and maybe get pictures of those
Yeah.
artifacts, or be able to see them. I don't
Hmm.
know. I am trying to put together a presentation on the whole DeSoto Trail. So with that, I'm a historian. I've been out there, so maybe I can actually get in to see them. I don't know. But we were told where these actually were recovered from as well, and we want to show you that.
So I heard Nick say that there was artifacts buried out front, or
Right.
they found some. Where
This
about?
is where they recovered those DeSoto artifacts. And if we walk towards the sidewalk here, where the lights are, keep going a little bit to your right, and you see that patch of ground just beyond the walkway.
Hmm.
That is where those were recovered, along with a lot of Native American artifacts as well. So um, it's kind of neat that we were able to find that out too.
What did they find here?
Well, they found pieces of chainmail. They found the tip of a crossbow bolt that's like
That's
an
cool.
arrow,
Yeah.
and some glass beads, things of that nature that have definitely been dated to the time of Hernando de Soto. So
Yes, Nick was
they,
talking about that.
yeah, he was
How
talking about that.
it's impossible that it could be anything prior to 1539 or after because they didn't
Yes,
use that kind of equipment.
right. Especially the chainmail,
Hmm.
which the men were finding was already kind of obsolete because it was ineffective against the arrows of the natives.
Nice.
All right. Change of plans.
Yes.
Initially, we decided to do 3 kiosks, but now we're going to do a few more because of the missing artifacts at the
Yep. In the
museum.
museum, we didn't have to spend time there, so
Right,
we get to continue our quest.
right. So we're at kiosk number 30, which is entitled Supplies Are Low, and we're going to tell you all about that. So we decided to get out of the sun
Yes.
uh, and tell you a little bit about that kiosk. It's on the St. Mark's Heritage Rail Trail. It's kind of an old rail that's used for walking now. But the whole thing about supplies are low. DeSoto found out that there was water to the south, and he sent a man named Anasco and 10 riders to go all the way back to Tampa. There were still men at Tampa with the ships,
Wow.
and tell them to come up.
Can you imagine?
It took them 10
10
days to
days.
make it all the way
That
back
to me
to.
seems like a short time, but then you let me
Yeah,
know that
they must
had
have got on
horses,
Route
right?
75 or something like that. I don't know what they did, but they got there. The ships came back. He also sent word back to his wife.
His wife. I'm impressed by his wife.
Yes,
Isabella di Barbadia de
yes,
Soto. Quite a
yes,
mouthful. What a leader for a woman back then in
right.
the 1500s, 14, whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
she was a pretty strong woman.
Impressive.
He left her in charge of Cuba because
Hmm.
prior to coming to Florida, he was the governor of Cuba.
And she became the governess.
And she ran the show. So he sent word back to her that everything was okay and to
Hmm.
send ships up with more supplies.
Hmm.
So that's the meaning of this kiosk. Now, we're heading south, we're heading towards St. Mark's, and also what's called the Bay of Horses because the prior expedition, the Navarres,
Mm-hmm.
that's where they ended up making rafts and going out into the Gulf of Mexico. I think they had to slaughter their
Oh,
horses
that's so.
to
Oh,
survive. They
really?
fashioned,
Mm.
their spurs and everything,
Don't
and
they have
everything
fish?
into. Yeah, they used that to make what they could to make rafts and get out into the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, here we are. We're at kiosk number 31,
Mm-hmm.
which is entitled The Lure of Gold. And can you believe what happened again?
Hernando de Soto was fooled to believe that there was gold in the area of the wrong direction.
Right.
Oh
He,
my God, embarrassment.
no, he was told that there was a village near here that they came in and took over called Ayut, and they captured a few natives. One boy said that he knew of a vast kingdom to the north called Kofacheki, and that they had plenty of gold up there.
But I can't believe he fell for it. Wait a minute, was the boy Indian boy?
Yes.
Hernando de Soto didn't learn his lesson the
No.
last 30 times?
I don't know how many times they keep telling them there's gold in the next village,
Anyway.
and this isn't the last time either. It was the man's greed just
Mm-hmm.
drove him, and he just didn't use his brain and just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was initially just supposed to come in here and plant a colony, but this treasure hunt ended up bringing him all over the southeast, and it's a real sad story.
Quite an adventure.
But this is just another spot where somebody said there's gold up ahead,
Mm-hmm.
and old Hernando just kept on going.
Didn't have gold in Cuba?
Well, they did initially, but they mined it all.
Oh.
So then that's why they
Now,
started
if
looking
he kept
elsewhere.
going north and west into California,
Right,
he
right,
would
yeah.
have some gold.
Well, they were out in California too. The Spanish were starting to get out there about the same time.
Oh, well, hey, I didn't know that.
Right, on the other side, right.
Oh,
So, yeah, and it was all
interesting.
driven by gold.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Hey,
here we are at kiosk number 32. We're getting up there.
I know.
I think we've
2
got
left.
2 more after this. Well, this is called Telltale Bones.
What's that mean?
I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so about the bone thing. What happened is De Soto sent his man Juan and Asco down here because they heard the Gulf was down here from the natives up in where Tallahassee is now.
Mm-hmm.
So they came down here, and what they discovered was pretty frightening. What happened was they discovered these horse skeletons and stumps all over the place.
Oh, okay. That's the horses we were talking about earlier.
Right, right.
And I was concerned about that. And didn't they have fish?
Yeah, I know. You wonder why didn't they go fishing? But
Right.
they had a lot of men, I guess, and they had been starving anyways. So they slaughtered the horses, and the stumps were because they, from a survivor of this, they found out that they had built rafts. The whole bunch of them, I think there was maybe, I don't know, 100 or something of them, got on these 6 rafts, just shoved out into the Gulf.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
The Gulf on a raft?
Right, hoping that they would land someplace in Spanish territory. And
Did they?
most of them were never heard from again.
Obviously.
except one raft made it to Galveston, what is now Galveston, Texas.
Was there anybody on it?
There were 8 men, and
Ooh.
eventually it got down to like 3. One of them was a man by the name of Cabeza de Vaca,
Oh,
who ended up traveling throughout the whole Southwest through Mexico, and
Oh.
like years later appeared in a Spanish town, emaciated, tattooed, and this guy
they
told
did
his
tattoos
story
back then? Sorry.
because he became like a native medicine man.
Oh,
Because at one point they wanted to kill him, and then he did something to cure somebody.
native
Medicine man. They thought
he was native.
No, he was Spanish,
Spanish.
but he kind of turned native.
Did
They
he turn
wanted
native?
they wanted to kill him initially, and then he saved somebody by doing something, and they thought he had special powers.
Oh,
So what happened was eventually he traveled throughout the Southwest from tribe to tribe, and his reputation would precede him. So they greeted him as some kind of a magician or
Well,
a medicine man.
in my opinion, if he can survive in the Gulf of Mexico on a wooden raft,
Yeah.
he's got some power.
He was a pretty smart
Survival.
guy. And then he ended up before De Soto came here, he ended up talking to De Soto, and De Soto wanted to bring him as a guide.
Oh,
And he balked at the last minute and didn't decide to go along. I wouldn't want to. After that whole
Absolutely
ordeal, I
not.
wouldn't want to go back in here and
No.
everything. So
understandable.
this whole thing about the horses here was from the Narvaez expedition, which was a total failure. And that's why it was called the Bay of Horses. And today it's called the Bay of Appalachia.
Appalachia. And it's beautiful here if you're looking for someplace to go chill.
Yeah, we're in a nice little park
I hear
here.
a boat going by right now.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Take a look.
There we go. He's coming in for us. We're going to get on, and it's going to take us home.
Oh. I don't think you're telling me the truth
No,
because he went
no.
by.
April Fool's.
Oh, hey, you got me.
It is April for
It
us,
is.
yes.
All right.
Okay, well, I think that does it for today.
Yeah, we've done what? Like
Yeah, we did a
7
lot
to
of
8,
kiosks today. Initially, we
6.
started out with only 3
We were
and
supposed to
ended
do
up
just 3 because of the
doing
museum.
6.
That didn't
So,
pan out.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you
We
very much for
appreciate
watching.
it. I hope you enjoy coming on these
I'm gonna miss my De
journeys with us.
Soto expedition.
I
It's
know.
so fun.
It's
We
gonna
have to
be
look
over
up a
pretty
new one. I
soon.
know we'll get 2 more.
Yeah, we'll have to find something else to do a series
Yeah,
on.
but we're
some
not going
other
to tell you. It's going to be a
historical
surprise. We've been working
thing.
on something already.
Yeah, we've got some things going on the side there. Yeah, all right. All
Thank
right.
you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm not gonna touch your eggs. That's crazy. Cool. Is that your babies? Whose babies is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm leaving the babies.